Hey guys, welcome back, and it is day 4 of Ghibli Week here at the Atlas Shrine channel. And if you see a beautiful field of flowers, perhaps it might remind you of one of my favorite scenes from a movie that I really like called Howl's Moving Castle from 2004. It's based off of the 1986 novel of the same name, and it is arguably, in my opinion, one of the more popular Studio Ghibli films, and there's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff about it that you just kind of like you wouldn't know about until like after the fact, and then you like see it and you're like, oh wait, there's really like, like there's a bit more substance to it is basically what I'm trying to say about it. Like one of the things that I just recently learned is that the creator, oh hey Bubbles, how's it going? Come on, fishing rod, do your job. You haven't caught anything. Nice. Miyazaki, when he created Howl's Moving Castle, it was kind of like a pseudo-protest to the war in Iraq, the United States incursion into that one, which happened the year prior to it, and that's why it happens to feature a lot of anti-war themes and stuff like that. So it's a really cool little piece all together, and like, I just really like it's the first one that I seen. I feel like a lot of people it's the first one that they seen because like prior to it, the Ghibli films like really becoming like huge in the United States, you just kind of had like you had to just stumble across one of their films. And for me, I think there might have been other ones, but I can't tell you for a fact. But I know for a fact that Howl's Moving Castle was featured on Cartoon Network. I don't know if it was like a midday thing or if it was like a what's it called, a Toonami special or something like that. But like, I know that it had come through on my normal cartoon watching adventures on multiple occasions. And if you haven't seen it, you've probably seen like a reference to it at some point in time, whereas the Totoros are popular for just kind of like being like the de facto Ghibli mascot. And then one could say like Spirited Away is like the one, it was the award-winning one, so that was like a really big one. Howl's Moving Castle is the one that, in my personal opinion, it won the hearts of all the young girls out there, and it's just like really good. Hey, we got a gorilla over here. Hey buddy, how's it going?
Hey, you from here? I'm a solo traveler, just seeing where life takes me. Name's Caesar.
Whoa, with the cheeks.
I'm impressed you stopped by for a chat with a complete stranger like me. Gotta say, I don't hate it. Speaks real well of this island. You must have some big hearts. I'm only sticking around for a short while, but I'm all ears if you want to chat, Highness.
Highness or high knee?
Oh, you know what's underrated about travel? Discovering new things about who you are. Let's say you get tangled up in some type of misadventure. You might see a whole new version of yourself. You might not like them, though. So, it's probably best to stay out of trouble, Highness.
Seriously, like, yeah, he's running. He's like, okay, yes, it's true. I don't wear pants. My bad. Oh, it's okay, Caesar. You are an interesting gorilla. Oh, hey, Maddie, how's it going? How in the world does anyone pack light for a trip? How, I ask you? Each and every one of my suitcases is about to pop, and I can't even remember everything I packed. Took me forever to find my phone cozy earlier. Maybe I should learn to pack a little lighter. I mean, it's true. I've gone on my fair share of vacations where packing is just like it can be a tedious thing. Oh man, I almost didn't see you there. Camofrog doing his best. He got his jacket, everything blending in. Yes. Hey, you lively, Chris. Me? I'm just giving these old bones a rest. You know, when I used to play this game just casually, I feel like they had a much more diverse selection of words and quotes. But I feel like once I click record, they start cycling through the same old ones. At least that's how it feels for me. But the brief summary of how Howl's Moving Castle works is that there's a young girl who, like, she's like a hat maker or something like that, and she gets cursed by a witch, and then she decides that she can't stay home because she's cursed, and she's going to turn into an old lady, so she walks off, and eventually she stumbles across a scarecrow, and then one thing leads to another. She's at the castle, doesn't know it's castle, but she just kind of goes in there, and then she just assumes the role of what's it called, of just like being another member of the castle. Hey, look who's here. How you been? I feel like there was something I've been meaning to tell you, dearie. What was it? Oh, well, it's gone. There's like, I'm skipping over some other stuff as well. Like, she was being chased like in the city and whatnot. But basically, she's cursed. She's turned into an old lady. Howl, who had, oh, okay, I remember now. So the setup is she is in the city where she lives, and while she's out and about, she's doing her thing. She's like, it's your Snow White syndrome. She's the fairest of them all, kind of thing. She earns the adoration of Howl, but that earns the ire of the witch. So the witch, who wants to have Howl's heart, curses her so that Howl's not distracted by her beauty. She turns her into an old hag, and then later on, when she ends up stumbling across Howl's castle, Howl comes up and he sees her, but he does not recognize her because he's so vain. And basically that's where like this story begins. But while he's dealing with his inadequacies based off of looks, she like legit has inadequacies based off of looks. I'm not saying that if you look like her, you should feel any sort of way. You shouldn't feel negative based off of your perception of yourself. Because, fun fact, we're all going to get old at some point in time. So, like, there's, like, no point really in being too upset or offended by these things. But all in all, that's what breeds frustration in hers. That Howl's is like, he's so heartless. How can you be this way? How can you act like if you can't be beautiful, there's nothing to live for? It's like, bro, look at me. I look like a waterlogged handbag, and you're acting like this. But basically, he sees a beauty deeper in her as she sees a beauty in just being who she is. And of course, there's movie magic also. Like, as she becomes more accepting of who she is, then Howl becomes more the curse slowly, like the curse is based off of her perception of herself. Basically, she can cure her own curse if she could just accept who she is. Like the like her looks aren't dependent on what she like. Beauty isn't dependent entirely on her looks. If you can accept who you are, then you can find a beauty that is much more timeless than what anybody might say of you. It's kind of that situation, and it's just a really good movie all the way around. Because, like, I mean, first and foremost, like, the self-insert, not the not like a literal self-insert, but the insert that goes along with it, where a lot of young girls, and mind you, this is just my perspective, I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of young girls watch it and they want to imagine themselves as, I believe her name's Sophie, that they're going to find the handsome, he's not even a prince, he's just a handsome, like, wizard or something like that, and he needs help. It's kind of like, I want to be the princess who saves the prince type of thing. He is struggling, he needs help, he has this like little monster raven form and whatnot, and she needs to be the one who brings him back, who cures him, who shows him the way, and that's ultimately what she does. And I feel like a lot of young girls kind of like imagine themselves playing that role, and that's kind of what makes Howl's Moving Castle such a attractive movie for that particular type of audience. And that's not a bad thing, though. Like, I feel like it's really cool having, like, all these different types of movies. And, like, I find it strange, though, that as I'm, like, describing this movie, that coming across that idea that, like, oh, yeah, it's kind of like Snow White, how it starts up. And there's, like, a lot of crossover. I found, like, part of what it is when it comes to movies and stories and whatnot is that you hear them, and they sound familiar, and I think that it's kind of what that comes from is it's very difficult to find a lot of original stories. Like it's kind of the frustrating thing about it. It's like you want every story that you hear or that somebody like offers you, like you're hoping that they're always going to be like different, but you always run the risk that it sounds exactly like something that you've already heard or seen or something like that. So, but having some parallels isn't a bad thing, though, is what I'm trying to get from that one. That like, even though it does kind of have some aspects of those things, there is also like a lot of difference. But House Moving Castle is just a great movie in general. It's fantastic. The set piece is awesome. I love the part where his like little house, he can turn the what's it called? This dial by his door, and it changes where his front door leads to, so that his house essentially exists in multiple different parts of the world, and but you only gain access to it by what's it called? Turning the dial. But another thing of note is that one of the strong anti-war sentiments that the movie has is he is enlisted by the kingdom. They're basically telling him, like, no, you have to come serve the kingdom, use your magic. It's like calling all wizards type thing, and he doesn't want to do this. And you know, it's interesting how I feel like I feel like the politics in a Ghibli film aren't as what's it called? Like, it's not as blatant as, like, it's just one of those weird things. Like if you know, you know, then it's like it comes off as super blatant. But if you don't know, you can enjoy the whole movie and not realize that there's like a real world connotation tied behind the way certain characters or events play out. But it's absolutely just a really great movie all the way around. I would definitely say, like, if you could watch a Studio Ghibli film, it's probably definitely like on that list of ones that most people would say, like, yeah, you should totally watch House Moving Castle. Like, and I'd be inclined to agree. Like, I'd say, like, it probably goes like My Neighbor Totoro's like the first one, because like it's like one of the first ones, and that is kind of where the mascot comes from, and it's kind of helps that answer that question early on as you're watching a Studio Ghibli film later on. You see the mascot, the Totoro, to not have to be thinking to yourself every single time, what is that thing supposed to be? Just get that out of the way first and foremost. But then, like, after that, what else is there? House Moving Castle is definitely a great one. Are there? Okay, there's no coconuts on that tree. I don't want to lose my. I don't want to knock the coconuts off the tree. So I was just trying to find one that I had already hit. I got stung by a bee earlier, trying to collect wood over here, so that kind of stunk. But House Moving Castle, definitely a great one to watch. Also, My Neighbor Totoro goes on that list too. And then one could argue, finally, the last one might be like Spirited Away is definitely like another one that you should watch. But they're all, I'd say pretty much like most Studio Ghibli films are probably good, though. But House Moving Castle is deservedly so one of the more popular ones of the bunch. I think basically hinged off of the cast. The cast of House Moving Castle is so good. It's so well rounded. You have Sophie, you have Howl, you have Calcifer. Everybody loves Calcifer. I mean, even though he wants to burn all your bacon, he's a great supporting character, and just the whole movie all the way around is it's going to be one of those timeless ones that are always going to be well received, and it's just good to have movies like that, all about and around. Golly, I'm struggling to say those things, but I digress. If you haven't seen it, I mean, first and foremost, I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet, but definitely, you know, if you find it like in like on sale, or if it's like on stream or anything like that, definitely go check it out. It's worth the watch, guys. But all in all, if you like House Moving, if you what am I trying to say? If you enjoy this time that we got to spend together, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can spend more time together. If you like House Moving Castle, or even if you don't like House Moving Castle, feel free to drop down in the comment section and tell me exactly why you do or don't like it. But our time here has come to an end. Until next time, I'll see you next time. Don't forget that life is about making mistakes and making memories. Nobody's perfect, but you got this. I'll see you guys real soon.